Hello, everybody. It's your girl Ashley, and hopefully, we don't have the tech issues we had last week. I'm the host of the Amateur Expert podcast, where we talk to folks about their journey. We talk to them about their ideas of success, their path, their tips and motivators. Can you see me and can you hear me? Because last time we had an issue. But I'm truly excited for us to talk to Shayla today. She is a powerhouse. She is a servant of the Lord, which is something that's special to my heart, and that's how we met. And so she is here, so we will add her and we will get started. Okay, let me not act like this. Happy Talk Tuesday, everyone. Thank you for joining. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. Good. How do I sound?
I'm trying to hear if I hear myself, and I don't. Great.
Okay, good. Yay.
Um, how are you today?
I'm doing good. I'm just, been relaxing lately.
Love
Had
a good relax in this
had
season.
matcha. I,
Period. It's looking like you may feel like you are enough. Is that what your shirt says?
it is. I want everybody to see it.
Oh
So,
wow, because
yeah.
I think we're twins.
Yep. Oh my God.
Oh,
My friend is so great.
my friend is so great. Okay, so let's jump in. Shayla, I shared briefly that you're a powerhouse, but I would love for you to share with us who you are, and what you would describe yourself, who you would describe yourself as, and like sort of what you were doing for work in this season.
Okay. That's so funny because I think thinking through that makes me think about how much has changed. So I'm Shayla.
Mm-hmm.
I am born and raised in Mississippi. I'm very proud of that.
Yes,
I've
ma'am.
been in LA for about 4.5 years, a little under 5 years. I am by profession, I am an attorney,
An
but
attorney at law.
I it's like I'm multi hyphenated. I write,
Mm-hmm.
I, you know, this term of like thought leader is something that is coming up, but I've had a lot in the last couple of years. I also had a lot of opportunities, especially in the legal space, to talk about mental health,
Mm-hmm.
especially concerning Black women and millennials as navigating corporate America. And I I like to marry that with my faith and
Mm-hmm.
talk about that. And also, I do bake. I do a little baking
I
sometimes.
mean,
So,
I
you
added
know,
it to, I for sure, I added it to the caption today because you know the strawberry
yeah, I
shortcake
saw something about a strawberry
cupcake.
shortcake.
One of my favorite things. But okay, so you are an attorney, you said by trade. You bake a little some, a thought leader
Yeah.
uh in the mental health space where you're sort of combining all of the things, which sounds exhausting but amazing. And so I want to know, Shayla, when you were a little girl, what did you want to be when you grew up? And sort of like what was a motivating factor behind that?
I wanted to be an attorney, at least a certain type of, I didn't know exactly what type, but I wanted to be an
Okay.
attorney.
Okay.
Um, at the age that I decided, I was 12, mind you. So
Okay.
I grew up next, I'm from a small town. I grew up next to a law firm that was housed in a house next door. And
Okay.
one day the owner like comes on a helicopter and I was like, "Oh, what do you do?" And he was like, "He's an attorney." And I was like, "Oh." So I
Oh, hold
told
on.
the cousin.
He comes on a helicopter. What does that mean?
Like he
Like he
came
arrived to his home?
to the law firm on a helicopter, just like a casual day. And
Okay.
so, like from a small child, like whenever so I would hear if I was home and we would hear him, we
Mm,
would go next door. He ended up like letting me come over all the time and ask a million questions. Like I'm like a little kid, by the way. I
mm-hmm,
was between 10 and 12, I know. So I'm like, asking all the questions like,
mm-hmm,
what do you do? standing there, and he was really, really, always polite about it. So I was like, I want
Hmm.
to be an attorney. I think as I grew, um, I realized that I do like doing more of the um, transactional work versus like the going to court type of
Okay.
lawyer.
Okay. Yes.
And so, yeah, it's just evolved. But I
But
also,
you always knew that you wanted to be an attorney. That is beautiful. I low key,
mm,
we don't say envy because like we shouldn't envy people, but like there's a like uh, maybe inspired by
yeah,
the people who knew what they wanted to do from a very young age. So, okay. So I want to ask you, I mean, you saw the helicopter. But like how would you have defined success as 10 to 12-year-old Shayla who wanted to be this attorney? Because
okay.
it's giving, I'm also going to have a helicopter.
It was the helicopter. That was the silly thing. I was like, okay, so you can afford a helicopter, then I have to get into this. How do I get into this field to own
Mm-hmm.
a helicopter, or even like have one chartered? You still have to make a
Mm-hmm.
certain amount of money
Mm-hmm.
to do certain things, like and like as I got older, I like learned a little more about him. Like he lived actually like a far distance away on the
Okay.
Mississippi Gulf Coast, which is like if you're driving, it's like 3.5 hours. So it will make sense.
Mm-hmm.
But this is like I'm born in the '90s, so this is like early 2000s. It's
Right, right,
like
right.
nine like so it's like oh helicopter. It's like it's a yeah 12-year-old me. It was just like
I would say 38-year-old me is still like, huh, okay, you just arrived by helicopter. Uh,
something light.
yeah, no big deal. Okay, so you would say 10 to 12-year-old Shayla defined success way more materialistically than I'm sure you do now.
Yeah.
But like, if you could explain it from the your lens as a young girl, how would you have defined success?
I think as a young girl and even as like a college student, I defined it by like, when I get to this salary, when I get to this career, I will feel like I have arrived. And I arrived and I didn't feel like I arrived. So
Hmm.
I think arriving, I think like as a younger person, right? I was like, oh, well, if I can make six figures, if I can do these things, then
Hmm.
I will feel like I have been successful.
Hmm.
Um, Especially coming from like a small town where,
Yeah.
you know, I grew up next to a college, so a lot of people have a college education, but there are certain careers that in my small town, first I'm the first lawyer in my family, so
Okay.
um, that I feel like that speaks enough. Thankfully, I have a lot of Black women attorneys from my community.
Hmm.
I don't say a lot, a couple from my community,
Hmm.
but then also my college that I went to is a HBCU, so a lot of Black lawyers from there because it's just like the place where people went for a long time
Hmm.
if they wanted to be a doctor or a lawyer in
Yeah.
Mississippi. So yeah, I
Oh, okay.
defined it very materialistically as a child. Look,
Yeah,
short answer.
I think most of us do. And so you by trade are an attorney today. And so could you share with us, since your goal has always been your goal, what did that journey look like for you? Were you like an overachiever as a student? Were you doing all the internships and like always at were you always next door like, hey man, this is what I think about this? Or like how did you sort of cultivate this path for yourself because you were so or you were a lot you knew this is what you wanted to do from such a young age. There was no need for real discovery. You know what I mean for you?
Yeah. I think one of the things that really helped, I think I'm overachiever probably, but learning the value of networking at a very young age,
Okay.
and like having mentors, definitely helped because
Mm-hmm.
I am in a sorority, so when I was in high school, I was in this auxiliary organization. I ended up being paired with an attorney, and
Mm.
so I was like, oh, I
Okay.
want to be an attorney, and she was like, oh, well, this is what you should do, and this is the place you should go,
Mentorship.
and so I went to that college. Got involved on campus immediately with their pre-law society, but also in other things. Because, like I said, I wanted to be a lawyer. But I mean, I feel like I also wanted to do a lot of things. But I went there, joined like all the clubs, all the things. Um, Probably always been multi-hyphenate
Mm-hmm.
and just doing things, getting myself out. That's where the legislative background comes in. I started in undergrad. I've interned at the Mississippi legislature twice,
Wow.
in
Okay.
undergrad and in law school. Um, have had the opportunity to learn a lot about lobbying and policy work. And so even understanding like how this law degree is so broad, it's not just
Mm-hmm.
people just think of a courtroom attorney, but
Mm-hmm.
it's a degree that like, you could be a C-suite executive, you could be um a business owner, you could be, multiple things with this degree. And I think that when I got to law school, I started looking at the things that I could do outside of traditional practice of law. Um, and was eyes open. Even in undergrad, I think I was navigating through all the different things. So I've done internships, but even most of those just had opportunity because of the people I know
Mm-hmm.
and them giving me an opportunity. I interned with the mentor. She used to work as a COO of like a hospital in on
Okay.
the Gulf Coast. So I interned with her during one summer. I had a really great opportunity to just get to see the transactional side of the law, which is why I feel like I'm really, really heavy. She was a CCO, so Chief Compliance Officer,
Okay.
which is why I think I'm so have a love for like order and structure
Mm-hmm.
from different levels, right? And I think it also ends up helping with the business that I do. So when I tell people like if I do a business like profile for somebody, I was like I'm looking. I know this is no shade towards anybody, but like I'm looking at more than like the Instagram girlies. I'm like looking from a regulatory compliance perspective. Like,
Yeah.
what do you have to do in this field? Also in your area, what do you want to do? What are the compliance things you set in order? And it was a really great way to see a different area of law. So, again, intern with the Legislative Black Caucus. Um, did a lot of things.
Yeah.
I
Did
feel like
you,
when I look at it now, I'm like, oh
uh-huh.
wow. Sorry.
Were you a poli sci major or what was your, or was it, is it like pre-law?
I
Uh,
majored in English at my undergrad. It was English language
okay.
and literature,
Okay.
uh, and I had an emphasis in pre-law and creative writing. So
Okay. Okay.
you asked about overachiever earlier.
I
So
mean, we love those that like all the things. Hence the amateur expert. I know a little bit about a lot.
right.
Okay, so how did you or when did you decide what type of law you wanted to study? And then can you talk to us a little bit about the time you worked, the times in which you worked as an attorney, and then when you decided to pivot?
Um, So I think the beauty about the law is that you don't have to major in it. You don't have an emphasis in law school. So
Mm-hmm.
when you graduate from law school, you could do any area of law, and it's just about the opportunity. So I never really wanted to work in a law firm, but I found myself working in a law firm because you know mentors are great. I think sometimes when you have mentors, you have to also focus on your own goals because sometimes they're telling you the goal based on how
Yeah.
they want it. And I found myself in law firms, and I really found myself like really unhappy.
Mm.
And most recently, people talk about it's been on the news a lot, but like over um 300,000 Black women lost their jobs this year. And I was like, oh, I had a good thing. I was like, okay, well, I'm in that 300,000 number
Yeah.
and like not knowing how to navigate or what to do. And I was like, you really, don't personally enjoy it. So looking at it as an opportunity to dive into the things that I've been wanting to do. And honestly, for a while, like having a little bit of reservation because I'm like, oh, well, I needed experience, but now I'm like, about to be 5 years in. So I was like, not quite
Yeah.
a baby lawyer anymore, but I feel like having more confidence to know that honestly, all the law firms I've worked at, they have thrown me in. They haven't really
Mm.
prepared me. So I am a person that's going to do all the things, like check all the boxes before I just do something, but
Yeah.
uh, just doing it and um, just having the opportunity to work with people. I've had some clients that I've worked for individually now, and I like it.
Yeah.
Uh, but also understanding that like I'm not limited by the career. Like
Mhm.
that is one thing that I am, but I have other interests and desires. And the truth is that working in a law firm limits that because I'm
Yeah.
focusing so much on somebody else's thing and trying to, build the things that I want to do and do the things.
Mhm.
And that's my answer.
Yeah, I think everyone, well, I won't say everyone. I think a lot of people, putting myself in this category, who moved to California, LA specifically, always have, again, so many generalizations,
Mhm.
have this bug of creativity, this bug of like wanting to launch something but not really sure, or they know what it is but they don't know how, or to your point, I need the experience, I need all the things, right? And so I love that you are Shayla, the baking lawyer, the lawyer, yeah, the baking lawyer, where you are sort of combining, not sort of, you are combining two of your loves. And so I wonder if you can share a little bit about that with us. How did that come about? Also, just going to put another plug in there for the cupcake because I'm going to probably mention it about three, four more times. But go ahead, please share with
You know,
us.
you know that you got it. So, but it came about because I started baking. I will say, when I really look at it, right, I've been baking for like, you got the first as a kid, you get the easy bake oven. Okay,
Hmm.
those treats were not great though. That came out of there. I feel like the recipes were horrible.
Yes, yes, yes.
But and
We
then I
survived,
think
thank
as I
God.
got older, I come from a family that like bakes and cooks. Like I feel like it's really, deeply rooted in Southern culture, like cooking and
Hmm.
baking, especially traditional things. But I started like, oh, I would do like a box brownie or
Hmm.
something. I think the first thing I baked from scratch were cookies. And
Mm.
then, I try to be grown and just jump from cookies to pound cakes. And that was like 2019 is when I started like baking pound cakes. And my mom was just like, just make sure it tastes good first.
Hmm.
And when I feel like coming to LA, I had some space when I wasn't
Hmm.
working to just really start to hone in on the craft and like making it pretty. And I
Hmm.
already know what it tastes like, but like using the art part, the artsy part of myself, the creative, like what can I make?
Hmm.
And if people give me the opportunity, I mean, like, I don't take orders, but I just like to do things that allow me to stretch the things because baking has also been a thing that God has used to teach me about perfectionism. And
Hmm.
that like it's okay if it doesn't go the way that you want it to
Hmm.
go. Because I failed a lot at it, and I don't like failing. Like
Hmm.
I remember like when I first started, like I would be like frustrated, like I'm a little bratty, so I'm like, oh my God, I hate it. Like, why am I messing up?
Yeah.
And like, especially those pound cakes, because like the first couple ones looked like big biscuits, like the whole top was coming off. They were
Oh, sweet
uh
biscuits. Bless your heart.
yeah, but they were good. And
Hmm.
and so me wanting to be perfect from
Hmm.
the beginning, I'm like, oh my God. But then I saw like how it was being used to teach me like, okay, it's okay. And also
Hmm.
like showing people that, it's okay to like learn as you learn. I think I've gotten to a point where I'm really good at it. And so I do like to try new things. So one
Hmm.
of the things that I've been taking a break from the content, but I was like, one of the biggest things is like I want to do different things. I don't just want to do like the same thing. So things
Hmm.
that challenge me, so recipes
Hmm.
that challenge me to really see how far I can go and stretch myself in this thing. So not just like I like pound cakes, but like at the end of the day, it's like only so many like videos I can make of me making a pound
True.
cake
True, true, true.
versus like trying different things. And also how I marry that with like talking about like legal analysis or,
Hmm.
going through like a contract because I still love that even
Right.
though I'm not working in the law firm. I still love certain aspects of it. Even, having commentary on like some legislative stuff that happens, because I think that to me, one of the other things that is really important to me is access to justice. And
Mm-hmm.
in the criminal justice space, it's still issues that we have in our criminal justice
Yeah.
system. But if you're in court for committing a crime, you're entitled to or allegedly committing a crime, allegedly, like Pat says, if you're
Mm-hmm.
in court for allegedly committing a crime, you're
Mm-hmm.
entitled to counsel. But a lot of people aren't in need of that type of attorney, but they need advice about something. And
Right.
although I may not be able to like service certain people because maybe they may not be able to afford an attorney. I think that there's
Mm-hmm.
so much misinformation out there about
Yeah.
contracts and starting a business and things that, like, how can I, from my experience, help people? And, it's not legal advice, but it is recommendation from
Mm-hmm.
a
Mm-hmm.
professional that has done it. And so, how can I marry those loves and also help people along the way if they like the content and pay attention? So, that is how I marry it. Because when I was looking, I was like, I like baking and I want to share it with the world, but how do I do it? And a part of me wanted to be like, well, everybody's doing it, but like,
Yeah.
what way would I do it? And also, like, sometimes you might get a little Jesus in there as well.
Love
You
little
always gonna
Jesus.
get a little, it's gonna be a
Love little
story every time.
Jesus.
So, that's how it really came about. I literally was like thinking of like, okay, what do I name this? Because also like I felt like I was supposed to do it,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes you're coming out of things, and I was like, okay, well, whatever I do with this content, I do want it to glorify God as well.
Yeah.
And how do I do that? I actually was talking to somebody today about how I try to like not teeter a line, but like
Mm-hmm.
sometimes the type of stuff that I do, if I get too much into it, it could be gossipy because like if I'm like but I don't want to do that. I
Yeah.
do, but I want people to learn something from my content that could help them if they had to. And also like, please, if you have the ability, talk to attorneys about contracts, about things. And then also provide people with resources that there are organizations that do provide resources or
Mm-hmm.
discounted services. And so I can't be everybody's attorney for that, but
Right.
I do, sometimes it's just people knowing. So how can I do those things? And that's where I came to that, and, try and get some brand deals. Like I would rather use my bacon as a humanitarian versus like charging people to
Yeah.
bake a cake for them.
That makes sense. I feel like one of my artistic expressions has been through Affirmed Armor, which is my clothing brand.
Yeah.
And so uh and so right now we're both wearing shirts that say I am enough. I wonder if you can share with us a scripture or a mantra affirmation that you say or have said over the course of your journey to get you through the tough times.
I can't think of the exact scripture, read your whole Bible, but it says, like the verse says, "This I know, I will see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living, or goodness of God in the land of the living." And I just feel like that is something that constantly helps me,
Mhm.
especially on days where I have to really remind myself of that. But that, and also, that, and if I'm just talking about a motivational or mantra, just that, it's going to happen, and reminding
Mhm.
myself that it's going to happen because some days it doesn't feel like it is. Some
Mhm.
days are hard. And I
That's
think
so
of like
true.
my journey, um, even with like, I graduated during COVID. So,
Okay.
and I took studied for the bar exam during COVID, very unprecedented times. But something about that experience made me like really think about what I wanted to do. And so
Mhm.
when I got into the career, I didn't want to do it as much as I thought. At least I couldn't just do anything for money, is what I
Mhm.
saw.
Mhm.
But reminding myself during that time, like I've done hard things. And if I've done hard things before, I can do them again. Uh, yeah, I can do hard things.
I can do hard things. Yeah, I say that to myself often. That's good, Shayla. Thank you. Can you share also like just what tips or would you share with someone that is thinking about going into a legal profession? Like you were fortunate enough to see it at a young age. And so you, like I shared earlier, you didn't have to do much discovery about it. But for someone who
Yes.
is thinking like, "Ah, I think I'm gonna go to law school or I'm interested in law, what would you say to them?
Um, a person that is interested in law school, I would say really think about it first and ask
Mm-hmm.
yourself what it is you want to do. And the reason why I say that is because it is a commitment. And
Mm,
sometimes people want to help people
yep.
and they may not want to be a lawyer, but they could be an advocate.
Okay.
uh, they could be an advocate, right? An advocate is a different thing. Lawyers are advocates as well, but I say that because I had a friend after our first semester, he stopped, but he does a lot of political advocacy work, working with NAACP because he's just like it's not for me. So a lot of people get to law school and realize it's not for them, but if you really want to do it, uh, open your mind to doing it in a way that doesn't look like what you think
Mm-hmm.
because it's an experience
Mm-hmm.
and it is hard, but it's possible. I think that if I did it, I think if I did it, I think anybody could do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it just takes a different type of commitment,
Yeah.
like being okay with failing, being okay. Although I didn't fail, but being okay with failing in different ways. I failed at
Mm-hmm.
some things I consider, I
Yeah.
would say, but being okay with failing, but understanding that it there's a method to it.
Yeah. That's good. I know Robin put in the chat it's a lot of reading. That is not
Yes,
for me. Not for
yeah.
me. Um,
Reading and also
mhm,
networking. One of my friends is not a people person,
mhm.
and I would tell her I was like, this is the craziest career you could choose because you don't really, like talking to people.
Yeah.
But understanding that it is I wouldn't say like it's so stressful, but like what do you want to do as a lawyer? Um I think for me it continues to evolve. Like I want to help people,
Mhm.
but helping people in a way that is also true to what I want to do instead of just doing what people need.
Yeah.
Because I could easily go and do any type of law because I'm like, oh, that's how I could help people. But is it an area where I really like
Mhm.
uh where I'm passionate about? Um so look at what you want to do and then it is a lot of reading. Please be prepared. And also the last thing is that it's a mental thing, especially the first year. There's this joke where they say when you go to medical school, they tell you like you're going to be the best, you're going to change lives. And literally on the first day of law school, it's like, hey, look to your left, look to your right. One of these people might not be here, and you're just like, okay, like I'm to his right and I'm to his left. So like, who's the
Which
person?
one's it gonna be?
And
Yeah.
so a lot of it, and learning to think differently. But I think that now that I look at it, I see the method to it. Um, that it prepared me to be able to. I feel like I can do anything,
Mm,
um, because I have learned to think outside. Not even outside of the box. Like why am I? There's no box, and that I can't be boxed into. Like, how do
yeah.
I anticipate things? Struggle with my relationship with God because I feel like I need to know all the things,
Mhm.
and sometimes in my profession, I am a better lawyer by knowing all the things. But with God, He just give me a little bit, and I'm like, okay, but I don't know enough.
If you can just give me a little bit more, it would be so helpful. Shayla, how do you define success today?
Today, I define success as me. It's a very, I'll say this. There was a phrase that I used to use, especially a lot in law school, that I don't use anymore. I actually really dislike it, but it was "no one cares, work harder."
Mm,
And um, I realized that that is not what success is about. Because I can work hard and I should work hard. I'm a hard worker, but also I've realized that the value of my success is not in the things that I do, but in how I show up in the world
that's good.
and how I'm affecting people around me. I think that that's how I look at it. Like, yeah, you want to make money, but like also, and I think it's because the amount of money I said I wanted to make, I've made it and made it more. And I'm just like, I'll tell myself like, oh, if I just make more money, I could be happy. And then I
Mhm.
go to a job, I make more money, and I'm like, well, maybe if I made a little bit more. So then you have this insatiable desire for
Yeah.
wealth, but that is not the success I'm looking for. I'm looking for a
Hmm.
different, uh, something different, a different type of feeling. And I do want to make money, but more than that, I want to be impacting people around me in the spaces I've gone into and go into.
Mm, that's so good. Well, thank you for sharing your journey with us. Thank you for sharing
Thank you.
um your definition of success and how it's changed. I think that's usually one of the things that's most helpful for folks. And so as we are getting ready to land, I want to say that I'm the amateur expert and I know a little bit about a lot. And so I would love for you to teach me something, anything that I can say, Shayla taught me this, or like if I'm on what is it? The biggest loser? What
Okay.
I want to be a millionaire. How to become a Oof, okay, we're gonna start that over. Rewind. Shayla. What is Jeopardy? There we
Okay.
go. Shayla, can you share something with me that I can maybe recall when I'm on Jeopardy to answer, like, let's say 200 level question, a random fact, fun tidbit of information that you know from either any of your walks of life.
Okay. I'm trying to see. Okay. I don't know if this will come up, but that Mississippi has the largest per capita percentage of Black people because I think that that is a lot of people have their preconceived notions about Mississippi, but there are a lot of Black people in Mississippi. They've been doing well. There are a lot of communities in Mississippi that are predominantly Black. I'm from one of them. And um, that the things that affect people in other areas are the same things that affect us there. Uh,
Mhm.
and it's a beautiful place.
I don't think I've ever been to Mississippi.
Everybody should visit.
Maybe, maybe one time. I think maybe I was in Mississippi one time and then we drove to Tennessee. Um, but I do want to see the river. So I'm gonna visit. I'm gonna put it on my list.
And we have the
Um,
best food. That way, that's a free for all. That's free.
okay,
Better than everywhere else.
okay. I'm
And I
sure
don't
that
know if
is
any other people
subjective.
from the South. No, it's not subjective.
This is
This
a
is
fact.
this is facts.
This is a
Like
fact.
the other
Got
places
it.
have good food, but I'm saying like the best.
The best. Okay, noted. Well, when I plan my trip, I'm gonna call you so you can give me the spots I need to hit. Shayla, please share with us how we can support you, where we can follow you, what you have going on or coming up.
Okay, I you can follow me on Instagram. My personal page is just JUSS dot Shayla. And
Mhm.
then also the Baking Lawyer is Shayla dot the Baking Lawyer. On TikTok is the Baking Lawyer. I also have a blog. It is Pen Page Purpose. And I just talk about my faith journey on there. No, you need to follow me on LinkedIn. Y'all need to follow me on LinkedIn. But those are the places. I also, my friend and I occasionally do a podcast called The Verdict is Black and Neurodivergent, where we do dive into different legal. I can send you the links for that. I can send you all the links.
Yes, please send me the links. And I saw that you were doing a podcast with a friend, but I wasn't sure if it was on hiatus because this one has been on hiatus for a very long time. But we
Yeah.
back. And so we can always make comebacks. And so I was like, dang, I don't know if I should ask her about that. But yes, please tell us about that podcast and how we can listen to it and support you both.
Okay, so it's two lady lawyers that are both neurodivergent, but I think that that's probably why I don't know if it's hiatus, we just gotta get it together.
Mhm, mhm,
But
mhm.
and she also, my friend lives on the East Coast. She's in
Okay.
Atlanta, and sometimes um, aligning the schedules
Yes.
to make sure we're at a time where she's not up too late and then I'm not out and about.
Hmm.
But yeah, we just dive into like a lot of it. I've talked about some of the currently one of the most recent things I've talked about because it was a hot button issue and currently still being discussed is the current CBA and the WNBA. So I've done an analysis of it, also done updates talking about like how the negotiations appear to the public and all of those different
Hmm.
things we talked about, the SNAP benefits that
Hmm.
were placed on hold for a lot. So just a lot of different things
Yeah.
about um, any current legal issues and a way we can discuss them that is informational to people that might, you know, need the information. One of the things we did talk about was the like the phone conversations with Young Thug when he was in jail, but from a perspective of this, don't talk on jail phones, okay? That is a lesson. Don't talk too much on those. If you find yourself in that situation, I don't know what type of situation you
Yes.
guys will find you in, but like that's that's just like 101. And yeah, so any things, if you want to submit us questions, you can submit them to me or my friend. Okay, look at you. Uh but
How
yeah,
did that even
so
happen? Sorry.
uh we are on YouTube. We have, I think our most recent episode was a couple of weeks ago, so you can find the episodes on YouTube. I'm trying to post them more on Instagram and other platforms. But yeah, we just talk about anything that is like a hot legal topic, whether it's policy, because we feel like that's one of the biggest things to me. I feel like people don't realize the importance of policy. And if I could give y'all a tip, go
Hmm.
watch Schoolhouse Rock, the how the bill becomes a law, and you understand the importance. I feel like it's a simple way to give
I
you
just watched.
information.
Did you watch the Schoolhouse Rock documentary? I don't know. I just
No,
watched.
I'll
I
watch it
don't
because
know.
I love me a good documentary. I'll watch that.
Yeah, same. I just stumbled across it and then I watched it and I was like, School. We need to bring it back. But sorry. Here we
Yeah,
go.
and so
Tangent
like
squirrel. I'm back.
also we another thing that we've discussed is like AI, how it's having
Mm.
impact on different industries and what that
Hmm.
means. There's a couple of cases about this. Couple of major networks have sued, major production companies have sued this new AI company.
Hmm.
So, like, basically looking at how the law can help with policy and legislation as well in different areas, especially in copyright, which is like really one of my areas that I love to talk about, love to discuss. So, yeah,
Yeah.
so follow me on all the things. Please follow our podcast, and maybe we can have you on there
Would love that. I don't know
as
what I would
well.
discuss, but sure. I'll pull up.
You know a lot about everything,
I
so
do. I do
that's
know a little
what.
bit about a lot, and I will talk about what I know about. That would be fun.
Yeah.
That would be fun. Okay, so please, yes, send me the links so I can put them in the show description. I saw a few people joined late. Thank you for joining. We'll be back next week, next Tuesday. And this full podcast will be available for you to listen to on all of the things. Shayla, thank you again so much. This was great to have this conversation with you, and I will see you Sunday.
See you Sunday, and we'll see if we get the strawberry
Yes, the
shortcake
photo.
for
All right.
Sunday.
Thank you, Robin, for reminding. Okay, so we have to be still and
Okay.
smile for about 10 seconds.
Okay.
It's gonna feel awkward, but
Okay.
we need to have uh a cute cover art.
Okay.
Ready, set, perfect. Thank you,
This is so
Shayla,
cool.
and
That
thank
was so
you,
funny.
Robin. Okay, everyone, happy Thanksgiving, and we will see you next week. Next week, Robin, you up next? Okay,
All right.
bye.
Bye bye.